Hermene Hartman with Indigo Studio. Every family has at least one. What do you do with those family recipes? I'm talking about the recipes from your grandmother, maybe your great-grandmother, your aunt. Where are those recipes that you use for holidays, for special occasions, Thanksgiving, your birthday, Christmas? Is that recipe in a special cookbook, or is it in a drawer, or is it in a special cabinet? One year for Christmas, I took all my mom's recipes and I put them in a special book, and it was a wonderful Christmas gift to my cousins. It was a hit. It was quite a gift. And today, our conversation is with people who took family recipes, sometimes dating as far back as to slavery, and they turned those recipes into businesses. I call them golden recipes. They're turned into riches. They're actually legacy recipes. I'm going to introduce you to them today. Stay tuned, don't go away. Hi, I'm Hermene Hartman with Indigo Studio. We have got a most exciting show for you today. Now, we all like to cook and we all have those special recipes, but our guest today took the family recipes and turned them into gold because they went into business. So I want you to meet Mr. Patrick Oden. He has cheesecake from his brother. I want you to meet Michele Hoskins. She's got syrup from her great-great-great-grandmother. And I want you to meet Eudell Watts. He has barbecue sauce from Old Arthur, his great-great-great-grandfather. And Stephanie is just a little genius because Stephanie took her grandmother's recipe, learning how to make cake, and she is now into the bakery business. So Michele, I'm going to start with you because you have been in business longer than anybody here, and I want to hear, before you tell us anything else, I want to hear about America Washington.
America Washington, isn't that a great name?
That is a fabulous.
So you can imagine who her daddy was, right?
I don't know who.
I don't know either. Okay, so.
It might have been George.
Yeah. So America Washington was my great-great-great-grandmother. And she, her mother died as a slave in the late 1800s. And in 1866, when slaves were emancipated, she stayed in the house where she grew up with her mom, and the owners did not like molasses. So they asked America, could you please make us something that we would like? So America made a syrup out of churned butter, honey, and cream. And she put that recipe in her pocket and she passed it down to the third daughter in each generation. So my mother was the third daughter and I was the only daughter, so I did not get the recipe until my third daughter was born. And at the same time, when she was growing up, she was a little, 8 or 9 years old, I had read that the 80s was the decade of the woman and that women were going to emerge as CEOs and executives of companies. And I wanted to be part of that movement. So I thought, what could I do? And then I had the secret recipe that my mom had just handed me, and I decided instead of passing my daughters a recipe, I'd pass my business. And that's how Michele's Honey Cream Syrup started.
And so we've got 3 syrups, and we are in stores throughout the United States and grocers.
Yeah, we're a national brand. We're in over 10,000 stores, all major retail stores, and we just set in Target in August.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you all better keep those recipes. Now, I want to go to Mr. Watts because I want you to tell me about Old Arthur, who was a pit master. Tell me about that. Tell me that story.
Absolutely. Arthur, the image on the label actually is Arthur. My great-great-grandfather was born into slavery, Kansas City, Missouri. He was a slave until he was 28 years of age. His job day in and day out revolved around open pit barbecuing, and that's where he began to develop recipes to complement the meats that he was cooking over open pit. So when he was freed at the age of 28 through the Emancipation Proclamation at the end of the Civil War, the only thing of value that he had to take with him out of bondage were his recipes. And when he got to the state of Illinois, those recipes served him well. He became a very well-renowned pitmaster, somebody that was sent for for miles around. Communities would send for him to come and host county fairs, city festivals, and things like that. So his renown was exceptional over the course of the 80 years as a free man that he plied his trade. He lived to be 108, and he kept these recipes close to the vest and passed them down to in his direct bloodline, his direct children, and then their children were the recipients of those recipes, which we now make today. So we're a strong, up and coming regional brand. Someday hope to be a national brand, but the future's pretty bright.
Michelle's going to help you get there.
We're talking.
But I can go online, because that's what I did. I went online and I bought everything.
Absolutely. We are in retailers here in the Chicago area. We're in retailers throughout the Midwest. The easiest way to get a hold of us most consistently is through our website.
Go online.
You can also see us on Amazon.
Hey, Brown Sugar.
Hey.
So your grandmother, you were a little girl, and your grandmother taught you how to make a cake, a pineapple coconut cake. Tell me about that.
It was just the favorite. I'm so blessed to come from a generation of women that really showed their love through cooking in general, and baking was, I'm just a sweet girl, so it was my favorite. I got to have a pineapple coconut cake at Christmas and my birthday, and I just loved the cakes. I loved all the sweets that the African American women in my life made, from sweet potato pie to cornmeal pie, red velvet cake. I didn't even get a red velvet cake until I was about 12. Because the lady that made the red velvet cake, that was an adult cake. It was not for.
It was not for children.
It was not for children.
Okay.
We
All
ate
right.
the store-bought cake.
Okay. And Patrick, your brother. So we've heard from the greats. We got to the grandmother. Now you talk about your brother with a cheesecake recipe.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes. It started with my brother, Chef Leo, in which he's late now, he's gone now. But he started off back in maybe the early 90s. He came back from Atlanta. He wanted to do his own thing because he was a chef in Atlanta, Alabama. So he came to Chicago, and he wanted to do his own business then. So he came out, he started off in my mother's kitchen, just baking cheesecakes and passed them out to different stores and stuff, seeing if people try it out. So all of a sudden, the big craze came with these fish and chicken places, and he was the pioneer of putting it in all the ethnic neighborhoods, all the black neighborhoods all around Chicago. So he wanted to do that. So here I am after he passed away. I continued the business on, growing it in a different area, in which my dream was always to make it bigger. Leo made it big. He really made it big because he had over 1,000 stores around Chicago and Indiana. So I wanted to take it a little bit further. I wanted to take it national. So now I came up with this thing I've had on a shelf for probably about 3 years now. I had this thing about cupcakes and cheesecakes.
A cheesecake cupcake.
Cheesecake cupcakes, have our own niche. No one out here, and I don't think in the United States has that, a store with that. So we have that right here now on a Magnificent Mile, in which we have at least 12 SKUs every day on that, because cheesecakes is what we do. We're still serving all the restaurants around Chicago like we used to, but now we have our flagship restaurant downtown in Chicago. Just making it a little bit bigger than what we are and just taking it out here.
So you're on the Gold Coast with the cheesecake in the Nordstrom on the first floor.
Yeah, 520
All right.
North Michigan.
So now we've told you all how this started, and now we're going to tell you how they got rich. We'll be right back. I'm Hermene Hartman with Indigo Studio. Stay tuned.
To be positioned for the future, companies are ready to implement energy-efficient opportunities to improve workplace comfort. That's why businesses throughout Northern Illinois are partnering with the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program to find up to 35% in energy savings. Because at ComEd, we're not just powering for the now, we're powering your business for what's ahead.
Here's to those who refuse to accept they're only human. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, proud server of the most advanced machine on Earth.
That's the sound of the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, saving you up to $500 on your energy bills, with rebates and discounts on energy-efficient products, so you can enjoy the experience of coming back to a home full of savings.
For all the journeys ahead, go with a partner who's been there from the beginning. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois is committed to advancing and simplifying the healthcare experience for its members and communities well into the future. Enroll at bcbsil.com.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Governors State University.
So, Michele, tell me how we go from the syrup recipe in the kitchen, in your kitchen that you were actually making. How do we get that to a mass distribution to retail?
Well, the first thing you have to do is to formulate your recipe.
Okay.
You cannot take a recipe that you make on the stove and take it into mass distribution. It has to be formulated so there's a consistency there in every bottle or every product.
It's the same.
It's the same. So you take that recipe and you make sure that that recipe is given to a chemist or a food chemist, and he makes that into a formula that you can actually take to a co-packer and have that co-packer make it consistently from one bottle to thousands of bottles.
Okay, and
So
it's the same.
It's the same
in
recipe.
every bottle.
In every
but
bottle.
It's still your grandmother.
It's still my grandmother's recipe, but I took the base of that and I made it into, because what my grandmother made and I made, we could not put it on the market because it became rancid or it becomes, so you cannot put, I tell most people to first starting off, do not try to put a finished product that has life shelf on retail because you're not going to be successful.
It won't last.
It has to be in a formulated situation so you can put it on the shelf and then tell people it's there. And it has to have a longevity.
So how did old Arthur's get out of the barbecue on holidays, 4th of July and in the summer? How did you get that to retail? How did you get it in the bottle?
Similar story to what Michele described. You know, by turning it over to a food chemist, a scientist that will take and help you, expand that recipe, but make it shelf stable. You're then, you're faced with some choices. The recipe that you give them is not the exact recipe that you get back, and you've got to make some choices on substitutions. For instance, if you have butter in it, that can't sit on the shelf. It will go rancid. So they'll give you a couple of options for how to substitute that, and you then have to, you sample it. This is pretty close, or no, it's pretty far off the mark, and you'll push that recipe back and forth as they tweak it, and eventually you'll get to the point where you'll say, this reminds me of mine, or this is close enough. And then it's a matter of simply telling them how much you want them to produce. But believe me, you want to have sales in mind. You better have an idea of where you're going to sell it at the time that you're asking for them to produce several hundred gallons of barbecue sauce for you.
Now, Stephanie, you are still kind of like in the kitchen, really absolutely fixing those recipes. How do you do that? How do you move from grandma's kitchen, grandma's knee, into the bakery?
So my grandmother left the planet, and I was spoiled. I didn't really make those cakes. She made them for me, and I missed them. So I taught myself how to bake, and once I got it right, when I shared those products, people were like, I feel the same thing you feel. I'm not a home baker, I'm not a home person, so I did open up a bakery, and I created a line of cakes that were the cakes of my childhood memories, and people responded well to them. And over the years, we have gone from being, I would say, a bakery to a manufacturer of
So what are
cakes
those
now.
cakes? Tell me about those cakes.
Oh, we make, of course, pineapple coconut. The #1 seller we have, and it's a tough cake to make, is caramel cake. We make yellow chocolate, double chocolate, German chocolate, red velvet. I make a dreamsicle cake. We make a rainbow sherbet cake. Anything from my childhood that reminded me of cake. We make a fantastic pound cake. We make Mrs. Ross's sweet potato pie and her cornmeal pie. So peach cobbler, banana pudding, all from scratch, because we didn't have, my childhood, people didn't buy Jell-O. They made the custards. And so we get to still do that. But it's a lot of fun watching, and as Michele said, when you bake at home, you bake with a recipe. When we work with formulas.
Okay, so you got to get to that formula. So tell me about cheesecakes. You don't have just a cheesecake. You've got some cheesecake. Tell me about those cheesecakes.
Yeah, we do have some cheesecake. So with me, myself personally, like Stephanie here, I'm in the kitchen as well sometime, and because we manufacture all our own stuff and distribute throughout Chicago. So I'm in there in the kitchen sometime, making sure everything's right, making sure, just like if we come up with something new, I'm in there helping them formulate it. But the base did come from Leo. I can't say I did it. It came from him. So right now, like you say, I have a lot of the same flavors.
So you got plain cheesecake.
Plain
You got
cheesecake.
strawberry cheesecake.
Plain strawberry, we have a dreamsicle. Right now seasonal, we have a caramel apple. We have a red velvet cheesecake.
Red velvet.
Yeah, cherry cheesecake. Leopolitan cheesecake, which is 3 different flavors on one cheesecake, which is the chocolate, vanilla, and the strawberry. So that was named after Leo, you know. So, so we're doing some things in the kitchen still.
All right, now Stephanie, your business expanded.
Yes.
You bought a candy company.
Yeah,
Tell me
I bought
about the
that.
turtles.
I bought the location that had made candy for 86 years. It's a 10,000 square foot warehouse space where we're going to be manufacturing cakes, and we have retooled the candy into a line called Life is Sweet. The turtle making is so, I look at it just like the cakes. I remember there was turtles that came in a can when I was a little girl, and it was such a treat. I've expanded them. We make a German chocolate turtle. We make a white chocolate turtle, a ruby turtle. So I'm having fun. It's like another way for me to express myself and create candy that reminds me of my childhood. So I'm having a ball.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, your syrup is in all of the grocers for the most part.
Yeah.
You are getting into grocers. You're at Mariano's now. What's your distribution? You just want people to come to your store, both of you? You want them to just come to your store, or can I order online?
You can order online for me, and I ship my products nationwide. So this is awesome. I'm also sold through some other venues, Taste of Chicago, powered by Luminalties. They sell my cakes. You'll see me on HSN and things like that. I sell through those kinds of channels. But you can get me nationwide. We ship out every single day cakes all over the country, and the candy as well.
And Patrick, what about you? You ship all over?
We don't ship all over. We ship cookies because we're in the cookies as well.
You got cookies too?
Yeah, we do cookies.
You didn't tell me about the cookies. Tell me about the cookies.
Oh yeah, that's cookies.
We got cheesecake cookies?
Cheesecake. No, not cheesecake, but we have the old school butter cookies, the peanut butter cookies, chocolate chip cookies.
Oh my gosh. So for Thanksgiving and Christmas, this is what I hear. I don't want to make my cake at home, but I can get the cake just like I would make it at home if I made it at home, or the cheesecake if I made it at home. But I can come to the store and I can buy it, and it'll be just like Grandma's, right?
It'll be just like Grandma's.
On that note, we'll be right back as we get some more hints on how to cook and taste just like Grandma's.
To be positioned for the future, companies are ready to implement energy-efficient opportunities to improve workplace comfort. That's why businesses throughout Northern Illinois are partnering with the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program to find up to 35% in energy savings. Because at ComEd, we're not just powering for the now, we're powering your business for what's ahead.
Technology is meant to make our lives better, especially when it makes them easier, happier, and healthier. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois is committed to advancing and simplifying the healthcare experience for its members and communities. Enroll at bcbsil.com.
That's the sound of the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, saving you up to $500 on your energy bills, with rebates and discounts on energy-efficient products, so you can enjoy the experience of coming back to a home full of savings.
From preventive cancer screenings and diabetes care to hypertension and behavioral health management, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois is committed to advancing and simplifying the healthcare experience for its members and communities. Enroll at bcbsil.com.
we're back and we're talking about recipes and how they turned into gold. So Michele, now I can do your syrup for my pancakes, but not only my syrup pancakes.
No, we're the only condiment on the syrup aisle, meaning that you can take my product and cook with it. We don't have anything, we don't put high fructose corn syrup, we don't put anything in there that crystallizes. So you can do greens, cornbread, you can do lamb chops, you can do salmon. Stephanie has made me a butter pecan cake. So
with
you
the
can
syrup?
actually, with the syrup,
baby.
and it was so good. So you can actually cook with our product. You can put the honey cream over chicken. You can bake, grill, baste, and pour with our syrups.
My goodness. Now, tell me, old authors, tell me how to use a rub. That's what I want you to do. How do I use a rub?
You know, the name rub is a little bit misleading. It's a spice blend, nothing
It's a
more.
spice.
Nothing more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, you might rub it in a little bit, but the reality is 9 times out of 10, I'm shaking it on and putting it on the grill, putting it in the smoker. But we use these rubs as frequently in the kitchen as we do outside in the backyard.
Okay.
So, you know, I'll use our gold dust. That's seasoning up my collard greens. It's seasoning up my, my green beans.
That's where I
I'll
want it.
use Crossroads because I'm putting that on my baked salmon, if we do it in the oven. We've got, if you think about the 6 different flavor profiles of our dry rubs, those things go just as well with the stuff you're cooking on the stove or in the oven. It's not just for the backyard.
Now, you had a cheesecake that when I went on your site that I liked. It was chocolate and like a swirl. What was that?
Chocolate swirl with raspberry.
Oh, that's what it was, chocolate. So you didn't think I knew that, did you? Chocolate swirl.
Yeah, it was a chocolate raspberry.
Have you gone into the little gala market, into some specialized food kind of markets where it's not a whole cake, but it's just a little piece?
We do cupcakes. We do mini cupcakes that are 2-bite cupcakes is what we call them. I make truffles is what I call it, and we put truffles on a stick. And it's a combination. That's where my cake meets the new candy. So that's a combined product that we do.
Cake meets the new candy.
Right, because then we take the cake pop cake and then we dip it in the chocolate and then we roll it in other accoutrements. We have one that has toffee on the outside, nuts, those kind of things.
And then I put Michelle's syrup on it?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
and I'll tell you that I've got something special. Michele makes something else that we're gonna be using her syrup in for this holiday season. And that is, we're doing the pecan pie with her syrup in it, that I'm going to be making a cake that has the pecan pie in it.
So do you make pies too?
Oh, I make pies.
Yeah,
So
she's
how
a
you gonna be?
baker. She's
yes.
a baker.
Y'all can tell I don't cook, right? You can definitely tell that I don't cook. Let me tell you why I don't cook. So your grandmother was great, your great-great-grandfather was great, and America was great, because they probably actually taught you and put the recipes down. When I was a little kid, in my mother's kitchen, and she would say, you put a pinch of salt. How much salt is a pinch of salt for a 6-year-old? I don't know. So I would put salt. And she was, no, that's not a pinch. Do a little bit of pepper. Okay, how much is a little bit of pepper? Okay, it wasn't what I thought at 6 years old. So me and her fought in the kitchen. I was like, no good. It's like, go somewhere and play and, get out the kitchen so I can fix food. But what we did is when my mother got older and we wanted to maintain tradition with our family Christmas dinner that we've always had, is my little cousin. She shadowed my mother. And she would say, now write this down. And we wrote these recipes down. So here's my question to you all in telling that story. Did you learn for real how to make these recipes, or did you follow a recipe and then learn how to make it and then add and subtract and so forth?
The advantage of having a recipe and taking it to a chemist is that pinch of salt becomes a measurement. So all of that, I mean, you can sit and literally say, okay, I make gravy and I put a pinch of this and but when you want to put that gravy on the market, that chemist is going to take that pinch and he is going to understand what measurement that pinch is.
He's going to formalize
He's
it.
going to formalize it.
Okay.
So you don't have to, I mean, none of us came from, like measurements. We came, I think, and I can say this about all of us, our products came out of just a desire of legacy. I wanted to create a legacy for my family. I wanted to create something, brand something, and have it grow and have it become a legacy. And that's why I started, and the syrups just kind of followed, and the honey cream was the #1, but then butter pecan and maple came along, and it's been almost like this love passion that we have.
So, in thinking about pancakes, we all grew up on Aunt Jemima pancakes. Aunt Jemima from Black Lives Matter came off the shelf. How did that affect your business?
The day that Aunt Jemima came off the shelf, my sales went up 78%.
Okay.
Forbes called me, and my internet just blew up. Beyonce posted about me. Everybody was posting about this. Oh, there's a real Aunt Jemima. There's a real mother of syrups. And when Aunt Jemima left, my whole life changed. It took me 37 years for my life to change in 37 minutes.
Wow. That
I was there.
is
Wow.
absolutely
I
fascinating.
went from a nice, comfortable business
Nice boutique business.
to like, wow, I mean, I'm everywhere and my product is moving. I used to say I wanted to move 12 bottles. You all can listen, adhere to this. I wanted to move 12 bottles a month. That's the case, right? I started moving 12 bottles a minute.
Wow.
Wow. So, competition matters. It does matter who's on the market, but here's what's really important is authenticity.
Yes.
Because that's what really blew you up, because
Right.
we knew Aunt Jemima wasn't,
Right.
she wasn't real, and we got tired of looking at that face with that rag on her hair. So now we really have an authentic
Right.
product, and all of your products are authentic from kitchens of family. So it is a family legacy for real, as it has been perfected by you and brought to market, so more than your family can enjoy it, so we can all enjoy it. I enjoy your barbecue. When I tell people I want to make a wonderful cake, I go to Stephanie. I will now tell them I will make some little cheesecakes, and I will come to you. And
You can cook do anything in the kitchen with this.
this is for pancakes for me in my
Okay.
house. And having said that, I want to thank you all for watching us and listening to these great stories. These are fantastic stories. So if you got your recipe, don't throw it away. Keep it. Might be gold if you know what to do with it. I'm Hermene Hartman with Indigo Studio. Thank you for watching.